Welcome back, guys, to the AoT Chronicles. My name is Chad.
Hey, I'm Ronnie.
And today we're covering Attack on Titan, like we always do when we say we're covering the AoT Chronicles.
Right.
How are you doing today, Ronnie?
I'm doing just dandy. How about yourself?
Splendid.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
What did you think about this episode? Before I talk about anything else, what were your thoughts?
Well, can you set up what episode are we covering? Put that right up here at the front.
Oh, that's a good point.
Do a better job of hosting.
Episode 82 of Attack on Titan, Season 4, Final Season, Part 2, Sunset.
You more of a sunrise or sunset kind of guy?
Sunset, man. It's hard for me to stay up. I mean, not stay up.
What?
It's hard for me to get up on sunrises,
Yeah,
but
that makes more sense.
it's also hard for me to stay up for a sunrise.
Yeah, the sunsets are just, the sunrise, I feel like if you catch a sunrise, there's a good chance you might have a better day.
Yeah.
I feel like it could really set the tone for your day, but I'm like, you don't catch a whole lot of them, but you just can't beat the scenery of a sunset, You can't.
And I will say this, though. At the beach, I occasionally get up with my mom and my family that's there. We take a little stroll sometimes at 5 a.m., whatever time the sun rises, and we see it from the ocean point of view.
Yeah.
And it is just gorgeous.
It's just something about the way that the sunset reflects off the pollution in the air that just really creates a mood, and you're going to have a good night.
It reflected off a lot of dust.
Right.
Colossal pollution in this episode as well.
It sure did. It was just a lot of orange. Yeah. We didn't see a whole lot of other colors. It was just dust and orange. But no, as far as what I thought of the episode, I thought it was nice. It was great to see Annie. I absolutely hate Flock. Keith Sadie's is I've never heard you make that noise that you just made when I insulted Flock.
Oh my god.
Don't interrupt me though. I'm giving my thoughts, and Keith Sadie's is everything that's right in the world. And he's kind of the sunset and sunrise of my life.
Okay.
And Armin made me sad, but I get it. It's understandable given his situation.
Armin made you sad. Okay.
Yeah, he made me sad.
Flock. Okay, so you don't like Flock and Armin made you sad. Sounds like you took a lot from this episode.
So what are your thoughts?
Really had good...
Well, they're general thoughts, so I'm telling you what I thought about the episode.
I thought it was good. What I liked about it is getting the behind the scenes to Annie and her father. I know, like, we had multiple times where she was just thinking back to her father in season 1. Mm-hmm. I think only literally one episode. And I wanted to see more of it because I've always said from the beginning, that guy does not have a nose like her or the same skin complexion. So how is he her dad?
Right.
We learned a little bit about that.
Yeah, because you are always studying genetics and how those are, followed up in children.
Yes,
so you were on that from a long time ago. Really would have made you seem smart if you'd really put your theory out there, but you just said it in passing. Everyone forgot about it.
Well, I think I put it out there. We've talked about it so much that nobody go back and fact check me on that.
And to make sure that I'm good here, you were criticizing my thoughts of the episode, but your thoughts of the episode were contained to the first 12 minutes.
Well, I don't want to spoil the second half because I've got a lot of good stuff to say about it. So.
All right. Let's hurry up and get through your part.
Future founder Freedom Flock Forester.
Let's hurry up and get through your part so we can get to that awesome thoughts you had.
We're going to the recap, though. I'm bringing back Chaz's recap of the day.
Well, you said you were going to do it last week. You didn't do it. I think everyone's forgotten about it. No one cares about it anymore because you're a false sayer. You're not a truth teller. You're a false sayer.
I will only do it when I feel an episode is worthy of a recap.
Well,
we need to know how we got here.
So you're trying to claim that 2 episodes ago you did not say you were going to do it for that episode next week, which in turn was last week? Is that what you're claiming?
I changed my mind.
Okay, so it's all just based on how you feel.
Yeah, it's all based on my mind at the time. And I feel like we need a reasonable recap of how we got in this situation. Okay?
So wait. Pause. Are you saying that this recap's getting ready to encompass multiple episodes?
No, it's just last episode. It's just how we are in the situation of the current state of affairs from last episode. Okay?
I'm starting off in a bad mood. Let's see if you can turn the table.
Well, got it.
Can I make my request first?
Oh, you have a request. I didn't know you had one.
I just remember how this went the first time. It won some people over. Others didn't have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
Keep the pace.
Keep fast.
Keep the energy.
Okay.
Don't try and stutter over your words too much.
Okay, this is going to be troubling, guys. I've wrote this down, and I have not reread it a single time, so let's see how this goes.
Quick, clean, efficient.
We know how I type, so Okay, this is the recap of the previous episode of Attack on Titan, final season, part 2, episode 6, episode 87.
Season 4.
Thaw. Season 4.
Strap it on.
Dr. Genocidal Galapagos speech again. Doesn't sound any more reasonable than last time. Sad lad leaves Phase Gabby, then decides to take a nap during Dr. Gigi's rampage. Yes, Dr. Genocidal Galapagos' name works here because same age as when his father became a doctor. He will genocide you, and he looks exactly like a Galapagos. Could even be a doctor collusion to acquire more patients for more money since they will all get stomped on and everyone will get injured. Jean then copes with killing the world with Connie, decides to feed his crippled mother to a child. Our squad decides to fight with deviant fluid-drinking monsters. This is why Ronnie doesn't drink alcohol. He can turn into a monster. And then we get Phase Gabby Braun saves one of the didn't have to say that, Browse family children with a box jumps barrel stuff, questionable playstyle in Call of Duty. Verbal Spider-Man meme pointing with Chef Nicolo, Potato Girl's sister, and Phase Gabby about being devils to each other. Bear Gates OST plays, while Keith motherfucking Sadie's nuts aren't massive on this guy, and you get a blade to the flippin' nape, slashes and dashes. He's not a bitch. He doesn't drink wine. Armin kills our favorite drunk, Pixis. May you RID, rest in drinks. Mixa is still a sexy war goddess, that is all. Keith, power slides. Future founder Flock Forrester survives with a grin of champions on his face. Gabby finds out Connie is into cannibalism. Being Hard is officially canceled because of the Me Too movement created by Aaron. And Annie Lionheart, the queen of MMA herself, is choking in a vat of Armin splooge juice outside of her crystal. End of recap.
All right. And with the ending of that segment, I'd like to jump into my new segment, which is called Ronnie Reviews Chaz's Recap.
Okay. Of the day?
It's too bad your name's not starts with an R, or else it would be the RRRR segment.
Yeah.
I'm saying a 83. Here's some things that I noticed. Here's some things that I liked. Here's some things that concerned me. Right out of the gates, I believe somewhere in there you said that they were feeding Connie's crippled mother to a child. It's the other way around. No, some of the highlights was Keith Sadie's nuts. Really like that. And Pix's RID rest in drinks. Those were really good. I think everyone appreciated that.
Okay.
I love the segment. You know, you won me back over. An 83 is a healthy score. My only other problem was I was seeing the audio levels on our recording thing. Very concerned that we spiked the audio. Very concerned, but, you know, we'll try and fix that in editing. Hopefully it doesn't blow anyone's eardrums out. But thank you for bringing the energy.
Oh, I brought it.
It was well read, too.
It was. I think the only mishap I had was the Connie thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, a couple others, you know, little minor things.
You regained your breath very quickly. As someone with asthma, I would have needed more time.
Chaz charts rechart of last episode.
And do you need a recharge after that rechart? Because we're getting into this episode now.
Let me get a sip of water and then I'm in.
Giving a sip. Once again, he's drinking. He is handing out packets because he's a substitute teacher at a struggling county school.
And subs get paid well and they don't do much. I'm thinking about becoming a sub. Do you not agree?
I can't. I honestly don't. I don't have a good feel for the substitutes.
$150 a day. All you do is hand out packets and sit on your phone.
$150 a day, but the work is not promised to you. So I mean, as far as part-time gigs, it's just strong.
Part-time.
It's strong, but you know, it's very, very nerve-wracking to rely on it as your main income source.
You get to look at some possibly 18-year-olds. All right, let's get into this Attack on Titan episode.
Yikes! Be careful.
Episode 82, Sunset. We go to the aftermath of Aaron initiating the rumbling in the Trost district. Okay, I feel like we haven't been in the Trost district in a while.
No.
And we've got Hitch and other soldiers pulling out people from the rubble, while, you know, many civilians have been killed.
Shout out to the few military police actually stepping up to the plate and finding some survivors.
Yeah.
Also, I had forgotten about Hitch's Season 4 glow-up, so it took me a second to even realize that this is who I was looking at.
She does. She looks splendid.
She is a QT.
Yeah. Kawaii. And also, she's done this before. You know who this... I teared up. You didn't see this, Ronnie. I was sitting across the room on the couch. We had lovely Travis here. Travis, say hi to everybody. Thank you.
A little quiet.
Um,
He had some good points last episode, though, I thought.
Yeah, he did. But, I feel like in season 1, she did the same thing when Aaron and Annie had their little fight. She helped people, try to get out of that rubble. Mm-hmm. And it's all because of Marlo. So what I'm trying to say here is a woman needs a good man in their life, and Marlo brought that to the table.
But she's doing the same thing here now, and Marlo has kicked the bucket a few years back. So who's the good man now?
If it wasn't for him...
Are you saying Armin is the good man now, or are you saying that this is still because of Marlo?
I'm talking about his dead soul looking over her and correcting her. I
loved Marlo, and I think she still thinks about Marlo from time to time, but I'm questioning the lasting impact for a guy that, I don't think they ever smooched. I don't think they ever held hands. So I'm just curious that 4 years later, he's the reason she keeps moving forward. I think that's a little irresponsible of you to say. I think Hitch has got more of a story to her.
She's got more.
She's an independent woman who doesn't need no man to define her.
I could see her getting a lot more things inside of her, if you know what I mean.
I don't. Please keep moving forward, and by God, be careful.
So everyone is still terrified by this daydream that they had, and we get even an injured lady starting to blame it on Aaron, saying, wow, this is all Aaron's fault. And she didn't say Dr. Genocide of Galapagos or Dr. GG. She said Aaron Yeager himself. So other civilians, they start championing Aaron and saying it's a small price to pay for the ultimate goal.
I feel like this show grossly overestimates how many people sustain injuries that require them to receive head bandages to cover up wounds.
You're saying they use a lot of head bandaging?
It's just like, how many times have you been out in the world, which, you never necessarily been in a war zone. But I feel like a lot of people suffer head trauma where they just wrap a bandage around the forehead and the back of the head, and they're like, all right, get back out there. You're good to go.
Wait, you're saying that does happen or doesn't?
I think this show grossly overestimates
it. I see what you're saying.
How many times that happens. Because I feel like we see, Flock, of course, Armin's done it before. One of these guys in here has it. It's like, if they've got head trauma such as that, they've probably got a concussion, and these doctors need to get their fucking act together and keep them on bed rest for a while. Yeah,
what is this, the NFL? They just keep sending them out after concussion.
But don't let them fall asleep. They could fall into a seizure, and we don't want that.
So maybe it is best that they're just sending them back out so they don't fall asleep.
Well, I'm not so sure you should be back on your feet so quickly. Just to, if it's one thing if you're getting shit done, but to just, have a debate about whether or not Aaron Yeager is a good guy, that's just...
And we'll talk more about that later on. Do you have any thoughts on if Aaron is a good or bad guy?
So you're going to check my temperature once again on whether or not I've come around to your side, which is... Aaron's doing the best thing for us right now?
I never said that. I said he had no other choice.
I think Aaron...
And don't come back at me with, there's always a choice.
Well, I wouldn't say that, and I especially wouldn't say it that way. I don't think Aaron is that great of a guy.
Well, yeah, but you could say that about everybody in here. I don't think that, I don't think that Mika's.
You didn't ask me how I felt about the other people. You asked me how I thought about Aaron. Okay. That's what I said. Please respect my answer.
All right, I respect it. So the civilians keep arguing. He said, this is a small price to pay for the ultimate goal. If he didn't do this, the whole world would come and slaughter us anyways. Thank you, sir. Someone with common sense. They're all going to die from the outside people. They might as well die from Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. So once again, he did not need to bring every single wall down.
Civil war is coming, folks. Okay? It's coming. It's coming. And I would have to disagree with you there, that he does have to bring every wall down. Because...
Go ahead, Flock. Why?
We've got a lot of the world that we haven't seen. They're progressing rapidly. Mm-hmm. If they do their little bullshit plan, we'll just send out a few Titans, kill some of the military bases. What happens when they come and bomb you, when they've got bombs? You got to go take them all out. Kill them all.
So we're concerned about the world showing up, even though there's only ever been one country who's actually shown up to our shores. And also, given your debate, our whole world would explode because everyone's got bombs. So thank God there's not leaders like Chad.
I'm talking about their world. They don't have it yet, but they are progressing rapidly to get bombs, and that's what I'm saying. Aaron already killed all of those people in Liberia, including world leaders. They're still mad at that. So him doing that, it's kind of like he's got no other choice now.
Keep dying on this hill. I
Keep
disagree.
moving forward.
Yeah,
you know, it's a small price to
Clear
pay.
that bullshit out of your throat.
It's a small price to pay if he kills billions of people outside the walls for them to live. Small price. Then they say you can't win without sacrifice as they start Shinzo Sasageoing and doing it repeatedly. And this is the one thing I don't like. Erwin's not here to say it. Mm-hmm. He's not here to give a good old Shinzo Sasageo.
Yeah, this is just a little taste.
It's
like a hand job. It's nice, but you know what I really want?
Yeah, and that's a wet hand job with your mouth. And then Hitch realizes that this is probably bad, and we need to arm ourselves. As she's talking to one of the other military police that she's probably slept with, and that's when she starts going for riot gear. I didn't even know they had riot gear, dude. That's pretty cool. And then mentioning that was I feel like a little Easter egg in the show. And she then walks inside to see that there's, a white, clear substance of footprints leading from outside of the basement where Annie was being kept.
A white, clear substance? Is that what you said it was?
Yeah, footsteps, white, clear substance.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
I mean, I guess it's right. I mean, it makes... Sure. It's wet, so there's...
It's wet, a white, clear substance. It's got like the...
Yeah. Yeah, I won't argue with you on the opaqueness of the...
Okay.
The footprints. I just wanted to make sure I had it right.
She then walks into a room to get Annie's sweaty hand over her mouth.
Well, she falls for the old white clear substance footprint switcheroo tricky.
Yes.
That's what it's called, I believe.
Okay.
It's one of the oldest in the book for sure. Hitch shouldn't have fallen for it. She kind of disappointed me here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean... I would have fell for it too.
Well,
dude.
You would have fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. It's in a room, all right? You don't just fall. What do you do? It's a single room. It's a confined space. First, clear the room. You got to clear it. You don't just follow the footprints blindly.
Good point, but did you not see? You didn't see that the footprints led to the right when it went into the room.
No, I did see that. That's exactly my point.
It looks like Annie dried herself off, which is a classic, clever move, and then snuck around.
Yeah, I don't believe she was wearing shoes, so it's like, how did she even do that?
I don't know. I'd have to look at that.
Was she wearing shoes?
I don't know.
Someone get me a report on Annie's shoes.
I think she was just wearing her skin around her feet, if I remember right. But yeah, now Annie's got the ring blade right at her throat.
What kind of damage do you think she could actually do with that ring of hers?
I think she could do some damage.
I don't know. I mean, it's just...
She's going straight for the artery, okay? If there's one thing Annie knows, it's where the arteries are in the body of people.
I mean, at first you would think, like, obviously it's a ring, okay? She can spin it around, so she's going to have to really pin it down to be able to cut through the cartilage that is the skin, or else it's just going to slide back. You ever have a ring pop?
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like going after it, and when you lift up your finger, it kind of slides down. You kind of have to do this little, reach with your mouth to get it back under control. But also, she went through puberty in an ice cube. I'm concerned about whether or not she's ever going to get that ring off. Her phalanges might have expanded. And if that's the case, it actually is better, it's more of a strong case that she might have been able to kill Hitch, because that thing would have been stuck in place and it wouldn't have done the sliding around like I was concerned about.
Yeah, she might not have been able to kill her, but she could have done a little damage.
She could have done some damage, but...
But as she does that, Hitch then WWE throws her down over the shoulder because Annie has been down so badly and is just very tired and weak from finally getting out of that crystal slumber. And Hitch calls her a granny, too, which I thought was pretty funny. Because you know why? She's not a granny. She didn't even age in there, it looks like. I think she looks the exact same. There was no glow up from Annie.
Try again. Because you're wrong. You're just wrong.
I think she's still 14 or 15, whatever she was. I don't think she's older. So we can't say anything like about her because she's not of age.
Oh, I will. She's hot.
She's still got that nose on her.
She's of age and she's hot. She's looking good. Can't believe she didn't melt out of that ice cube. Woo!
So Annie's surprised that it's Hitch. She's like, oh, of all people, it's you. And then Hitch is like, all right, we got to get you to the basement. This is a problem.
She's like, are you the only person who works around here?
But we find out that Annie has already cut herself and is ready to transform. Well, maybe. But she might not be able to, so she'll put on an Irwin gamble, though, and go for it if need be.
I like how they're going back and forth here. You know, it seems like Annie's fooled Hitch. She gets the upper hand, but then Hitch does a pretty good job staying calm, cross-examining her, making Annie think about what she can truly do in this state that she's in. Happens 2 or 3 times. I like these two together.
They are. They're a cool bunch. And I liked them in season 1 at the end. When we got
a bunch, that's incorrect. A bunch, I think, has to be more than 2, and this is a couple.
Okay, yeah, they're a cool crew. I agree. Then we go straight into the OP.
Crew, I'll let slide. I don't know if I like it, though.
So after the OP, we've got Hitch being fully on board with Annie now and taking her to the horse stables. She tells her, if you really are just skipping town, I've got no reason to stop you. Hitch then says, at least I won't have to look at that lousy face anymore, as Annie says, well, I won't have to listen to your endless rants about lousy men either. And boom, I told you. She has been, she's been sleeping around. And Annie's had to hear it.
No, she's trying to date, but there's no difference between our two worlds. Good girls having run-ins with lousy men in Attack on Titan, and good girls having run-ins with lousy men in our world. I'm here, ladies. If you ever want to give a loving soul a chance to sweep off your feed, try me out.
And this is why I don't believe in love. You love somebody, they die. Oh, I'm just going to love somebody else. So fake. Oh, you deserve to be happy after your loved one dies? Oh, I thought you were in love. I thought love was meant for one person. Just figured out love. Not real.
You run around as a champion for the weirdest characters. Even Marlo is in the world beyond being like, that guy's really fighting for me.
He fought for me, I'll fight for him, okay? But this is my instant thought when I heard that is, uh-oh, Armin. Uh-oh. I don't know what he's been saying to Annie, but he better have, kept it in his pants and not said too much, because we know that he was trying to touch her. We also know that it seems like he's got a little crush, so I know if a girl was slumbering in a coma and I had a crush on her, I would probably confess everything I wanted to do to her, which would be like, live a happy life with her, have kids. And it'd be pretty embarrassing to find out she could hear it the whole time when I thought she couldn't.
I have no thoughts. You were moving your feet a lot. I was really focused on that. Are you comfortable?
I'm comfy.
Okay, I was just worried for a second.
I'm just getting antsy, man.
You're wearing PlayStation socks.
So Annie says she was semi-conscious the whole time, saying that she felt like she was in a dream state for 4 years, but she could hear Hitch talking and Armin breathing very heavily.
So she was consciously growing up the whole time. Interesting. So this is my nightmare. We've talked about it in one of our mini properties before on the Podcast Chronicles network. The first time I was encountered with the prospect of living in a coma or something like Annie went through was when I watched the music video for Metallica's hit single One, and I've never really been the same since.
Yeah, that's a terrifying one. Funny story about that. I'll tell it real quick. There's a part in the lyrics where it goes, "Darkness imprisoning me." You know that part?
Yeah.
I used to think that it said, "Doctors impersonating me." Because in the music video when he's doing that, there's doctors around him and he's tied up. He's got a bunch of bandages on him. So I used to sing that with my friends and they would laugh at me. And I was just like, oh, yeah, it's part of the joke. Like I came up with that all on my own. But really, I thought that's what it said.
And your face turned so red and it was so obvious that you didn't know that was what it was.
Doctors impersonating me to the guy that couldn't see and had no limbs. Great times.
Who would want to impersonate that guy?
But yeah, then she said other times it was just pure darkness and I wasn't growing up.
Ugh. See, I don't think she said that.
But Armin and Hitch talking made it to where she knew what was going on in the world. And now she's here. And she heard Aaron's voice. So I guess she got the whole spiel from Dr. GG himself, which is pretty concerning. I'd be pretty concerned if I were her, knowing that my father was not on the island. So... But you got it coming. You had it coming. You should have left the damn island alone, my friend. This is payback.
When you read your notes. Oh my god.
So they ride off on the horse.
What is this improv you're doing?
Improv. Trying to prove a point.
Was that in your notes? Or were you like, I gotta take the time to type this out? So no. I would be worried. Should have left the island alone.
I'm just trying to re-emphasize my whole point of they're getting what's coming to them. Okay?
Oh, gotcha.
So they ride off. Annie's looking, Annie looked real cute here because she looks so tired and, just so beat. Imagine just not moving your limbs for 4 years straight. Your body's got to feel really weird. I don't know if there's some like Titan juice in there that made it to where, because obviously you would have to learn how to walk again if you were in just a coma. I'm sure she's got some Titan science in there that made it to where she's still able to do this, but...
I know a lot of people kind of tune out what's going on in their ears when listening to a podcast, but there were also a lot of people who heard you say, yeah, Annie's really cute because of how tired she looks. Be careful.
So Annie gets a good look of all the dead bodies as Hitch tells her that this is what I've been doing my whole time as an MP. I've been cleaning up bodies for you and your buddy Aaron. She then asks her how it feels to see all these dead bodies, and Annie just says, killing people is something we were praised for, and that we were taught that it was fine to do all of this. They brainwashed her to be the bad bitch that she is, okay? She is a bad bitch. Okay?
All right, dude, quit yelling at me.
Annie then says saving the world didn't matter to her. None of it did. Which is, I like how we're kind of finally getting into the head of Annie because... I mean, you could obviously tell that that's how she thought a little bit, but...
Right.
But it's like... I mean, she did end up caring, like, when she did that to Marco. I feel like this made her more human. Being on the island definitely made her more human than her dad or anyone else ever made her feel.
It didn't seem like she had a whole lot of relationships, and any relationship that she did have was overshadowed by the fact that she had a main goal laid out in front of her back on Marley.
Because even then, you see, it's interesting to see, like, Bert from the beginning.
Well, it's never that interesting to see Bert. He was Bert, but we love him for it.
He seemed like he was a way more level-headed and cared about people more than either of them did from the beginning. Even though he still went along with it, still did the plans, he had like more of a heart than I feel like maybe Reiner did too, but I don't know. It's interesting to see. Obviously, when kids get fed this information, they're going to react different. I feel like if I was a kid, I'd be a stone cold killer. I'd kill everyone. I would have no feelings if I was taught that.
All right. Cool.
And you would not have been a warrior because you're not very athletic.
Yeah. You do have the same build as a bird, so they might have been like, that guy would make a great colossal titan.
So we find out she was abandoned by her parents at birth. Her mother had an affair with an Eldian.
And I love that we were getting more and more evidence that a bunch of Marleyan's secret kink is just bedding down with those devil bloods. Reiner's dad did it. Annie's mom did it. Forbidden love is hot.
It is hot. As we know, like the history, that if we look into the annals of history, we see that this happened a lot. There was always, like, just in any type of history, forbidden love happens.
Ever heard of Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
From the hit Taylor Swift song Love Story?
We find out that she was then... Okay, she was left as a baby in front of this mansion.
That's not where it's from. It's a very popular story.
Was Annie's mom like a very high up Marlian.
Why are you asking me like I would know?
Well, she
preface that with, do you think?
Do you think because she was left in front of a giant mansion, so it made me think for some reason that
I don't think she was. I think it was,
or that's just with the drop off location. That's where babies are
she
dropped
was
off.
left off at a gate
Outside of a mansion.
So then, if it was just a mansion and not like that wasn't gates into Liberia, who picked? It was Mr. Leonhardt who picked her up. So what?
As we've seen, they can have. She said that he was there for the same reason she was, and we know that they can get like permits to go outside of the walls occasionally. So I don't know. I'd like to get a little bit more info on that, honestly, but I guess we're not going to because a bunch of Titans are about to stomp out all of the area.
Maybe they'll take a look at the mansion and the layout of the city before stopping on it.
But yeah, we realized that this isn't her birth dad, and that's why he looks so much different.
He looks a little bit more foreign.
God. We then see that he was Tiger Woods.
You guys should see the charts that Chad had put together, eye color. He's been on this, adopted parent thing for a long time for a bunch of different characters. It is extensive.
Mm-hmm. We also see that he was pulling a Tiger Woods dad. And from the beginning, he was training her to be the best at what she does, and that was his hometown martial arts, okay? Pretty selfish.
It was just nice to finally see a character who doesn't have a horrifying past, and by that I mean I'm totally kidding. She was abused by her adopted father. I just want to give Annie a hug.
Yeah, well, do you call this abuse?
Yeah, I do call it abuse, Chaz.
Okay, well, I call it being a winner in life. Do you think Tiger Woods, now that he's a quadrillionaire, one of the best golfer ever, do you think that's abuse? What is that?
I watched the same documentary you did. I must have missed the part where Tiger's dad was slapping him across the face.
You're right. He was doing it with golf clubs.
He was doing it. There was definitely some abuse there, but
I guess it is pretty selfish that he was doing this just for a better life for himself. Because I guess this guy doesn't have any family whatsoever.
Are you suggesting that it was perhaps there was some ill intent behind finding a little baby somewhere and then thinking, I will raise this to be a murder angel that will help me get a better life?
He could have, you know what he could have done though? Could have killed it. Did he though?
It was a bit toxic.
He raised it. At least he didn't kill her when she was a baby or leave her to die.
At least.
Day and night he would train her and beat her. I guess that sounds kind of bad now that I'm reading it out loud.
Yeah, those are your notes.
Her only value was to become a warrior. But when she got older and stronger, she then one day decided to just beat the dog shit out of him and continuously kick him in the leg while he was down, which was just so fucking awesome to see. She did it to where he would never walk straight again, which then makes sense because we've seen this man with a cane walking around.
So keep in mind the different forms of beating someone's walking patterns astray. You can beat the brakes off someone, which we've discussed before. That's horrifying because then you can never stop. Or you can beat them to where they never walk straight. So this guy has got to he has to pick his destination and turn himself about a 45-degree angle and then start his journey because that will eventually lead him to the right direction. It's really weird if you're like, hey, Mr. Loudheart, we're over here. And then he kind of turns to the side. You're like, oh, dang, he's giving us the cold shoulder. Just wait 30 seconds and he's there. And you're like, oh, what's up, man? I didn't think you were coming over this way.
That's what I'm going to do to my son. I'm going to train him to be the ultimate gamer of our lifetime. And I'm very good at games. He's then one day, I'm going to train him so hard. I'm going to make him, just stay in front of the TV. Well, he'll be in the metaverse, I guess, then. I'm going to make him wear those goggles all day and night. And then one day, he's going to get so sick of it. He's like, you know what? Hop in this virtual world. And then we're going to do, virtual boxing. And he is just going to beat the piss out of my avatar.
That's really foolish of you. The pro gaming community is way too competitive. There's too many spots trying to be taken. Everyone knows if you have a kid and you want to have them earn you a buck, you got to train them to be a professional football kicker. Okay?
Okay.
It's one thing that you have to do, all right? And you're not needed that much. It's the perfect way to do it.
Or an OnlyFans star.
Well, you didn't tell me we were having a girl.
Mr. Leonhardt was then overjoyed with the ass whooping that he received by his own daughter, which is kind of bitch, and he said, "You can now kill without a weapon, my child." So, mission accomplished.
I mean, and Annie's badass, but I think this was a little presumptuous from Mr. Leonhardt. All she did was kick his shin out of place, and I mean, we saw this episode. She was relying on a ring to try and kill Hitch, so she's still using weapons.
Yeah, but she could have stomped on his neck and killed him right there. But
he still had his she still had his hands to deal with. I would have liked to seen little Annie go up to that point. Okay, I think he would have used some hand deflections. I don't see how she could have killed him. I'd
love to see you take professional kicks to the shin and to the legs and see you defend that and get a fight back from that. You know why? Because you wouldn't.
Oh, guess what? You're right. I wouldn't. But if I was taking professional kicks to the shin, would I die? No. Which is my point all along.
But you'd be on the ground, and then you'd be begging for mercy, and then she'd come up and just smash you in the face.
Your argument is flawed.
Hitch then says, "Do I really have to hear your life story?" Which is pretty just... Hitch, come on now.
She's like, "Come on, I've been on the sidelines for like 57 episodes. Give me a moment to shine, please."
Yeah.
Also, her and Mr. Leonhardt lived next to a sewage spillway. Did you see that? Did you catch that?
That's pretty sad. I guess.
It's like the world building, you know?
And he then says, "I listened to you babble about screwing men and talking about the love of your life who had a very stupid bowl cut for 4 years. So this is the least you can do for me."
I don't think she said that.
That's what she was thinking, though. She goes, "By the way, they are still on this horse, and there's a giant windmill in the background behind them. I love a good windmill."
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with a windmill, but you just wanted to express your love for windmills.
I love a good windmill, and I think they do such a good job of it spinning in the show. It spins like how a windmill should spin.
Which is?
From the wind.
In a circular formation. Thought they really nailed the circular movement.
Yeah.
Good work, animators.
Very windy.
We see you guys.
And it's awesome. And you know what's crazy? It's not even windy outside, but the footsteps have created wind patterns, which have then led to the windmill wheeling.
It's inertia.
Just
say
awesome.
inertia. Just say inertia.
Yeah, it's inertia. It's inertia wheels.
Feeling good about this episode so far.
We then get Annie squishing a bug and saying, "I didn't care if people lived or died, including grasshoppers. This is sad, though, being trained as a kid." Wait, what?
Yeah, that was a very confusing note. You had
This is a bad.
This was very. This was past Annie. She wasn't stomping on bugs from atop a horse.
Yeah. This was past Annie. But she's saying she didn't care about if people lived or died. We saw her stomp on the grasshopper in part 1, as she was a little kid warrior candidate. But I said this is sad because she's being trained as a kid, and she doesn't understand human emotions and values like I do. And it's just, the fucked up ideals of war, man. War is bad. You know what I got from this? War is bad.
I'm having such a hard time keeping up with your morals. This half season is very...
I just don't. Do you have any morals yourself?
I just want you to get to my part, because I'm running out of gas with you tonight. You are wired up.
But that was until the morning she was leaving for the island, as Mr. Leonhardt fell to his knees, pleading with her to please come back.
Yes! That's a classic.
He failed to his knees.
That's
please
a classic
come back.
Phil feel.
Forget about being a warrior or honorary Marleyan. Just come back to see me. And then she realized that he was her father and she was the daughter, and she cares about him.
Dude, fuck this. This show is just... And then from then on, it's like they're playing it like, all right, we showed you guys the backstory. We explained everything we needed to do. You need to be on the page of this reunion between the two, because everything's fine here.
But here's the thing,
Mr. Leonhardt is a piece of shit.
No, everyone is a piece of shit in this show, Ronnie. You're not taken from it. I just said Mr. Woods, okay?
Right.
Mr. Woods to his son. He created the greatest golfer of all time. Did he hit him with golf clubs occasionally? Yes. Okay. But he doesn't resent his father anymore because he became so great. Annie
he resents him because of how much he cheated on his mother. That's why he hates him.
And that's why he decided to do
all the
same
affairs.
Things.
Yes, that's what
led him down a deep, dark path. We get that. But
Yeah, that's your point. So let me get this straight. Your point is Tiger Woods still loves his father, and that's why his life has been on such a correct course. If Tiger Woods has got it figured out, by God, Annie Leonhardt will have it figured out as well.
I'll tell you, he has always been on a course. When he gets into a vehicle, he is on a driving course.
Yeah,
because he is driving very fast.
Some would argue that he drives off the course.
He drives off course every time. But yeah, no, it's
I hope
sweet.
he's doing well. Best golfer of all time. Love to see what he's doing with his son. Yeah. Watch out for him.
People deserve redemption, Ronnie, okay?
Yeah.
And this is a sweet story of how they finally, at the end, they realized how bad they were. It's just like Grisha apologizing to Zeke. He realized he was a terrible father in the end, and it's going to be a sweet love story. Yeah. We're going to see them unite, hug. It's going to be awesome.
That's fine. I'll be there for it. I'm just going to need more than a 20-second clip of Mr. Leonhardt not being a shitbag to make me really come around to his side.
Well, that's the thing. We just got the training regiment. We didn't get him to see him feeding her or being nice. I'm sure there was some of that.
Because if you break it down into layman's terms, it's essentially, well, he did take her in, and then he, for many, many years, he tortured her and forced her without any of her own opinions to do what he decided was necessary. And then, right before she went off to perhaps die, he said, come back. I really care about you. I don't care about all the stuff that we've been working 14 years for.
She then realized that all she's done till now is fucked up and unforgivable, but if this takes her back to her father, she'll do it all again. Which is wild, because that was a lot of people you killed, Annie. A lot of people.
Sure was.
Hitch thanks her, but says even if you make it back, it will just be rubble and a dead corpse that you get back to. So good luck. As we go to the calling card. We're finally here, Ronnie. It's almost your segment.
Love it. 45 minutes in, let's get it.
Calling card says rumbling.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
We already know what it is.
We know what it is. We don't have to spend too much time on it. All right, here we go. Second part of the episode.
Do you want to be done? Do you not want the listeners to just have love spilled all in their ear canals? I feel like you're just like wanting to get out of here.
Oh, no. You would be so wrong. Watch how my half takes 45 minutes.
I'm excited for you to talk. Like, that's why.
No.
I've been ready for this.
I'm excited to talk too. I want to try and bring the same energy that you did. I'm just going to try and not say as many controversial things. Over in Liberia, Mr. Browse. Oh no, that's wrong. That's Mrs. Browse. No, well, it was a devil blood. She's a devil blood. He didn't want anything to do with her. Miss Browse.
Miss Browse. There you go.
It was not Mr. It was not Mrs. She is Miss Browse. Mr. Leonhardt and others.
Wait.
What?
Miss Braun. You're going to the Browse family.
I was going to the Browse family. Thank you.
Which is technically pronounced the Blouse family if you get into the real analytics of the story, which is just not very stupid.
Do we want to?
That's like us being like, oh, you know what? We've messed up, guys. In season 4, we're now going to be pronouncing it Gabby instead of Gabby, and that's just not happening.
Yelena. Hey.
Yeah. Yelena.
No. Leave us alone. So over in Liberia, let me try this first note again. Miss Braun, Mr. Leonhardt, and others are gathering around the gates to tell the Marley guards what the deal is. But the Marley guard, he's not easily fooled by this presumed ruse.
Yeah.
He's smelling a ruse and he's not falling for it. Mr. Leonhardt comes up with a great solution, such as asking the other camps, but this Marleyan is built Ford tough. He refuses to walkie-talkie over to the other camp, so instead he just cocks his gun, because if there's one thing we need at a time like this, it's unnecessary violence.
Yep. But he doesn't know. Give him credit where credit's due. He doesn't know. He's thinking, oh, these devil bloods, they just want to get outside of this gate and go enjoy a happy life where they're loved by everyone outside of the walls.
Yeah. Thankfully, instead, they decide, you know what, just arrest them all. And I was thinking, what does that even look like? Because they are essentially already in a prison.
Yeah.
So what?
I mean, does he mean like we're going to go stab them and turn them into titans?
Is there a prison inside the prison?
Maybe he's literally meaning send them to paradise.
Maybe so, but
it's a lot of extra titans. You know what's sad about this, though? This is what I was thinking about. Karina Reiner's mom was saying, like, oh, I knew this would happen, talking about the daydream.
Right.
Like, we all knew this would eventually happen.
It's like, really?
If they do get stomped out and
Yeah.
die, it's actually pretty sad because the whole time they're going to be like, we were right all along. Those people were devils. But really, it's just Aaron doing this.
Yeah.
And a few Jaegerists.
So your take was if they all get stomped on and perish, that would be sad?
No. It'd be sad that they never knew that. Like, if they know, in the end, if they find out.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
If they had not thought that those people were going to come over and kill him, and then they actually did get stomped on, it wouldn't have been as sad.
Yes. There wouldn't be a character development for Karina Braun.
Gotcha. I think that makes a lot of sense. Thankfully, instead of imprisoning them, or wait, no, I already said that. Mr. Leonhardt, though, he has had enough. No freedom is being taken away from him. He thinks about Annie, which sparks some rage inside of him, and he attacks the guard as we transition to a new scene with the sound of a gunshot.
Did he die?
No.
You know what's tough right there, though? If he really did, like, punch the guy or kick him, there's other guards
there.
There
are other guards.
They might just beat him.
I think he might just get a beating. It would be... Although it would be pretty savage of this show to spend the first half of this episode talking about Annie, and then the last third part of that part. You following me?
Yep.
Talking about her relationship with her father, just to have him die off screen. That would be pretty epic. But alas, we move forward to Keith Sadie's. He heard a gunshot. He's being bandaged up when some of the cowards that beat him up and were then saved by Keith himself, come in to warn him that the Jaegerists are on the way, and Keith, you gotta get out of here.
His little tater tots come in.
Nice. He's unfazed. He says there's no place for him anymore. He says the core of our military is dead, the Jaegerists will gain control of the island, and that those part of the old regime, such as myself, will be purged.
This is a wise man. This is a
God,
wise
he's so
man.
wise. He says, I'm too old to live in the mountains and shit outdoors anyway.
God, you're goddamn right, Keith.
I mean, he's all about the old regime, but you think he's some barbarian that's going to shit outside?
Yeah. No.
If this guy doesn't have a roof over his head, he'll use an outhouse, sure.
Shitting outside is for bears and horses.
You think he's going to poo behind a tree? No. He's got too much respect for himself.
He'd rather die than do that. Go on.
Forget it. They say, but if not for you, we'd be dead. Keith says, a fucking duh. Why do you think I did nothing and let a bunch of wimpy tots kick my ass?
Yep, we knew it. We knew Keith wouldn't just go down like that. Are you kidding?
You don't think he could have fucking just absolutely baked the 20 wimpy tots that were coming after him? No, he just took it like a man. He tells them to protect themselves, fall into their ranks, but there might come a day...
This is Chaz's quote of the day right here.
Okay.
He says, there may come a day for you to rise. Until then, try not to lose yourselves.
And that's the challenge.
That was beautiful.
That's the challenge.
Wise old lad. And you know what, Keith? You're special. I know he had that whole episode of him saying that he's not special. I say that he is special.
I love
him.
I love that. How long do you think you could last before you lost yourself?
Man, I've told you before, if I could relate myself to anybody on the show, it would be Flock. And I think this guy might have lost himself already.
Right. So you think not long?
Not very long.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that.
And let's be honest, I don't think Flock ever was not lost.
I mean, you're right. Keith is so badass. I don't want to talk about Flock right now because I'm talking about Keith. We cut over to Mikasa and Armin, Armin's heading to try and catch Connie. Mikasa doesn't understand this plan. She is not a believer, but Armin says he knows what he will say to Connie when he sees him. He goes on to say, I think Gabby is the key, and any chance of keeping Reiner and the cart in line depend on her. Do you understand his thinking here? Walk me through it. What do you think?
He does. At first, I didn't really understand it, but then it did make sense. He's like, well, if the whole world is actually going to get destroyed, we're all going to be stuck on this tiny island, including the cart and them. And he's like, we can't just be fighting on this island. The whole point of killing the world is to not fight.
Yeah, I'm with you on all
Yeah.
that. And what about the Gabby aspect? You think she's the key?
I think so. I mean, they spent a lot of effort and time trying to save her, so he's probably thinking if they're going to take that much time to save these two kids, if they're on our side too, we can maybe form a little crew together.
Yeah, fair enough. I love that. I just wanted to give you a moment to shine. And I think you're shining bright.
Like a diamond.
Oh, that song. Okay.
Did you see what he said he would tell Connie? Are you about to get to that, or is it?
Yes, I do. He says he will tell Connie that maybe his mom should stay as an upside down Titan.
I said,
Whoa.
right here. Okay, Arm.
Whoa.
I thought he was going to go with maybe your mom should stay as the crippled Titan.
Jeez.
But he went the politically correct route.
I guess if that's politically correct, guy gets a new haircut and starts acting different.
The upside down Titan. Okay.
Jeez. He says, "See you, Mikasa," and walks towards the door. But Mikasa says, "What about me?" She's like, I've got one thing I've always known to do, and that's protect Eren. What else do I do? You got to tell me. He says, "Help Jean and think about it for yourself." First moment there where I'm like, whoa, Armin, take it easy. Figure it out for yourself.
What?
Chill.
Hey, this is Eren's whole point.
She didn't do anything wrong.
At the dinner table, this was what Eren was talking about.
Some are followers, some are leaders, okay? Followers shouldn't be disgraced just because they're followers.
No, she can be a follower, but here's the thing. When you're a follower, sometimes your leaders are going to be out of hand. You're not going to know what to do. They're not going to lead you. They're not going to tell you what to do, and you've got to take action yourself.
Armin could have been nicer, all right?
Okay.
How many times has Armin just told Mikasa without her being like, "What do you want me to do?" What to do? And so all she's doing is like, "Oh, you always have a plan." He could have said, "Mikasa, I'm sorry. I'm at a loss right now. You're gonna just go to Jean and figure it out." Instead,
did you hear how tired he was?
He gave her some attitude. All right.
Did you hear how
and
tired
I love
he
Armin,
was?
but check yourself. All right.
He said
this is best girl, and this was only the first time. All right. She's getting ready to raise his voice to her, like I'm raising my voice to you right now, and it's unacceptable.
And this is weird. Usually you're the Armin simp. I think I'm on Armin's side right here.
I mean, I love Armin, but dude, all right, just because you were some know-it-all and just had Eren figured out, even though you hadn't talked to him properly in like 4 years, it felt like, doesn't mean just because you're wrong here, it means you can start taking it out on Mikasa.
Well, was he necessarily wrong, or did he realize, like I and many other individuals in this space, that there was no other choice?
No, he was very wrong. Okay, I don't know what you're arguing about. He said
there was no other choice.
He smiled and went, "Oh, Eren's just taking some of the Titans to go stomp out the Global Alliance." And then he went, and he might have even said, he might have looked and goes, "Oh wait, all the other walls are down. Maybe I was wrong."
Yeah. He goes, "That's odd." I think that was his exact words. That's odd.
That's odd. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I see where you are. I completely agree with your logic that you should just stay on the island and wait for the rest of the world to kill you.
Once again, never said that was what's happening. Don't know why you keep talking about it. We're going to duel, all right? We're going to have a duel. Because you're making me angry. But no, see, Armin, he could have surpassed this moment, right? Because Mikasa, her mind was busy. She didn't pick up on the fact that he snapped at her a little bit. So then she pushes it even more. She says, asked about Eren. And that makes him snap. He raises his tone, all right? He says, "Hanji and the captain might be dead. Flock might paint.
Flock might paint a beautiful drawing.
Flock might paint a painting that changes everything." No, he says, "Flock might point a barrel at our heads. Annie might be awake now. The military has fallen apart. Keith might have to go take shits in the woods. It's chaos out here. It's chaos." He goes on. "Historia might be in danger. The volunteers, the Asimichitos, Niccolo. Did I mention Keith living in a cabin in the woods? They are all at risk."
Dude, the Asimojitos. I completely forgot that these people are still alive, and they have a flying boat.
And Armin cares about them?
He cares about them.
What?
He cares about them, and dude, I'll repeat it again. They have a flying boat that we have not, for some reason, talked about since it happened, because they showed it for 5 seconds in one episode, like 30 episodes ago, and then it was just nothing.
I don't even remember what you're talking about, but yeah, they did.
They had the flying boat with the tarp on it.
Yeah, they sure did. Flying boat, saw it. I remember it.
You don't remember that?
No, I did. I remember. Okay. We talked about it. Flying boat. Everyone remembers the flying boat.
got a tarp on it.
Yeah. That scene was crazy in Arcane when they had that flying boat. Okay.
You know what makes this bad though? How I used to be like this with obviously Mikasa is not Armin's girl, but when she gets sad here, I used to always like spit out logic like Armin is right now to my girlfriend and raise my voice. And she'd get all sad and then try to make me feel bad for spitting out logic.
Yeah.
And raising the tone of my voice.
It was a tone thing.
And then you start to feel bad and you're like, you know what? I should just leave because I shouldn't feel bad because everything I said was correct and I'm always right. So
how's that relationship going, by the way?
It ended pretty badly.
Did it?
Yeah.
Cliff notes or don't want to get into it? Still too much pain?
I think she found somebody else that didn't talk to her like that.
I'll give you my cliff notes, everyone. That part is not true. How long ago did that end?
The last time I talked to her was 5 years ago.
All right. Cool. Keep me updated. Armin says he doesn't have time to think about Eren. He then realizes he's yelling at our best girl Mikasa, and as if enough wasn't on his mind, he says, "Erwin wouldn't have snapped at you like that. I know the answer now. I was the wrong person to be brought back to life."
The old bait and switch. He started feeling bad, so he's like, you know what? I'm going to make you feel bad.
This was really interesting. Like yeah. Because I had kind of just taken it for what it was at this point. As far as Armin being the one to chosen, I still think about Erwin all the time and just what a character he was. But as far as the decision, I hadn't thought about it. But if you put yourself in Armin's shoes, I'm sure he feels like he has done nothing to justify his spot in life at the moment. Because think about it.
He hasn't done anything since then.
Productive-wise that we've seen.
Besides, I guess he did the one thing in Liberia to take out the Navy.
But if you think about that, Erwin would have been the Colossal Titan, could have done the same exact thing. So I'm sure he writes it off that way. As far as like his own thought.
And we know, too, that what's sad about this is he's always kind of thought like this. Like, he's said something before with, like, Flock at the ceremony. But this is a bad time for Armin's insecurities to come back out. It's very bad.
So we cut over to Fred. He seems to think that Connie's going to have second thoughts about feeding Falco to his crippled mother. Niccolo tells Armin he's going to stay with the Browse family as their personal chef. Did you hear that part? He's going to be their personal chef?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Kaya and Gabby, they have a nice moment. Kaya shits on the name Gabby, but then they hug it out.
Yeah. She says Gabby. Should be Gabby.
Yeah, it should be Gabby for sure. One of the young gentlemen fathered by Fred popped a boner during this hug. I don't know if you saw that. He's been off our radar, but this young lad has been in the background perving on Gabby this whole time, I think.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. He's got you fooled.
He does.
There's more kids in this little orphanage that Fred's got running.
The 3 kids that were
and
there?
And I believe one of the young men has recently bloomed.
Oh, the one with the glasses.
And he's popping some bonies, I'm sure of it.
He might have a little crush on her, man. That would be sweet if the story ended with Gabby getting with him instead of Falco.
What's going to be weird is it is, like I said, basically an orphanage. Kaya's not actual his sister. It's going to be one of those weird...
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, stepbrother?
Well, think about it. That's kind of the Eren and Mikasa dilemma, too.
Except I've never shipped them, so.
Oh, okay. Even when he said, "I'll wrap that scarf around you from now until forever."
That wasn't sexually charged. That was a friendship charge thing. How many times have I wrapped a scarf around you? Huh? A
lot.
And how many times have we fornicated? Just a couple. I didn't mean anything. Elsewhere.
What about that time where he stabbed?
Elsewhere. Let's not talk about it right now. Flock is shooting guys through their hands.
Dude, Flock is a fucking savage, bro. This guy is a savage.
I do like the idea of shooting someone through a hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like what you see a lot of times is like kneecapping someone, maybe on the foot, or like I said, on the knee. You don't see the good old-fashioned hole through the hand.
It's the classic trick, too. He said high five, put his hand up like he was going to slap the dude's hand,
and
as
really
soon as the guy,
smoothly.
yeah, as soon as the guy pulled it up, he just pulled out the gun.
Jean doesn't like this one bit, but Flock, he's feeling himself, and that is always dangerous. He plops his fire crotch of a cock out onto the table for the volunteers to see, because he's going to do whatever it takes to show them that he is in charge now.
And poor Yelena is still just sitting in a chair looking down at the ground.
Was she in this scene?
She was, yeah, she's in the scene. She is not moved from that spot.
Look at me when I tell you this. Didn't see her. All right, we watched it multiple times. Did not see her because I don't care.
She's very sad.
I really wanted Jean to pound Flock in the face right now, but good thing he doesn't. He is outnumbered. He's more calm than I would be in this moment.
And I'm actually shocked that Flockcock is not being more hostile toward Jean.
I'm not, because he's just being this arrogant prick right now. Like
okay, let's not name call him.
He's swimming in it. Flock says that Aaron told him this plan 10 months ago to use Zeke to control the Founder's power. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Did I not call?
Bullshit.
How obvious has it been from the beginning that this Flock Forrester was in the works of obtaining the Founding Titan himself for that long? I've called this from the beginning.
I'll let you have your moment. I think everyone knows this. Aaron did not do that. Okay?
Oh, okay. So Aaron didn't talk with him, even though Flock just said that. Okay. Like Flock would lie. Okay.
Aaron did not tell him anything about this. He gives him the chance to join the LD. Actually, literally, Flock gave him a jacket one time. Flock was like, hey, you want to get a bite to eat sometime? And Aaron said, maybe. That is the only thing I'm 100% confident that Aaron actually ever told Flock.
But how cool is that scene?
Flock gives him a chance to join the Eldian Empire. Okay. Speaking of that scene, did you lose some money?
So I emailed the team, per se.
Okay.
And they said, you can get a refund, but it will eventually get shipped. If you'd like to wait it out, you can wait it out, or you could ask for a refund right now.
Okay.
And I just said, whatever, I'm just going to wait it out.
All right.
I'm going to wait it out, because I then looked on Crunchy,
Yeah.
and there's another pre-order set, and it says, won't be shipped till April. And I'm like, so everything's backed up. I was like, I might as well just wait it out, see if I eventually get it.
Would you like to set the over and under for when we might receive this?
Yeah. I'd say the date.
Set the
June
date.
1st.
June 1st? I'm going. Okay. And at this point, would you like to disclose any of this information about what we've been talking about for the past 2 minutes to the people listening and very frustrated?
No.
All right. It's a real dick move, but I think we had fun doing it. Sorry about that, everyone. I talked about Flock shooting the guy in the hand. Where else are we? He says, I'll give you a chance to join the Eldian Empire.
Yeah, he tells these fools how it really is.
Mr. Hole in Hand speaks up, says, screw you, asshole. That was my quote of the week. Telling Flock, screw you, asshole. He then evolves into Mr. Hole in Head because Flock shoots him about 4 times right in the noggin.
He unloads the clip on him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I cannot imagine they have a whole lot of bullets, so this is just foolish.
Yeah. And this is where I put right here. First off, he killed him already, and then he unloads the clip on him while he's dead. Why are you wasting bullets? I mean, that's okay, Flock. You're proving a point right here. But I also put that Flock might be a problem.
Yeah. We take a look at Jean, whose whole vibe at this moment is basically just, fuck this day. Yeah. I just want to go to sleep and try a brand new start tomorrow, you know? Good Lord. So much has happened. This whole season has been one day.
It has.
Have you stopped and thought about that?
God, they literally started fighting in the morning, and now we're getting closer to night. And that's insane.
So Flock turns to the volunteers and says, isn't submission much better than dying like this? Mikasa enters from the stairway. She asks Jean what's going on. Really not the time, but I'll let it slide because I just love her so much. You know, take the temperature of the room. Flock says Aaron is solving the problems outside the island. I'll wipe out the resentment within it. He says after barely surviving it 4 years ago, it's finally within our grasp. Freedom.
And when he said that, that's when I said, by God, did I add another F to this guy's name. And this is the quintuplet F or the FFFFF, future Freedom founder Flock Forrester. Okay? He's got a new nickname now.
Speaking of this moment, it was also the moment where I've never seen you look like more of a bitch when you turned to me and said, hey, pause it. You then got out of your spot from the couch, stood up, swiped it, said, hey, hit clear out the pause screen, where it was we landed on a shot of Flock with the subtitle just saying freedom, where then you did not just take the picture. You sat down on a ottoman, is that what those are called?
Yeah.
And then made sure that the lighting was correct, tapped your phone to make sure it was focused and framed, and then took a picture of it.
I did. I thought he looked cool right here. Okay, I did put right here, though.
What's funny is you said you think he looks cool. Next line of my notes, he looks so fucking dumb with that headband on top of his swooped hair.
Okay, I put here.
So stupid.
In all seriousness, though, getting into the meat and potatoes of this, they do a very good job of making this scene very creepy and uncomfortable with saying the word freedom. Obviously, when somebody says freedom, a lot of times you think it's inspirational and it's you're like, oh, that's sweet. I want to obtain freedom. This right here is the type of freedom that doesn't sound very good.
This is the worst episode we've ever done. It's going on way too long, I feel like, but I do want to double back. You said it was creepy because of the use of the word freedom, right? It's not because of Flock?
Well, Flock using the word freedom and the tone behind it.
Yeah. I could get behind you with the word freedom and how it's being used, but I should have probably been stressed. I was not stressed at all because I can't take Flock seriously.
Well, it feels evil. Did you not get the evil vibe from it?
Well, I mean, he is evil, but he's also a clown. Did you see how the bandage was wrapped around his hair?
But this whole world has been doing evil stuff, Ronnie, so you can't entirely blame it.
That is the 10th time you've said that this episode? Okay. And that argument...
because I feel like you're going after Flock a little too hard.
Quit making that same point. Okay. It's too easy, all right? It won't hold up in court, and I refuse it.
There won't be a court.
I deny it from this podcast.
Because it'll be stomped on.
All right, where am I at? My note was that Flock looked ridiculous. I'm trying to figure out where I said that in my notes. Oh yeah, he looks so fucking dumb with the headband. He does have a memory on him though. He says, "John, didn't you want a comfy lifestyle in the interior as an MP?" And it was at that time when he said that I was like, "Well, I can't believe he remembers that." And second of all, John should have been like, "You were in my class?"
Yeah. I liked it because he only joined the Scouts as an urgent recruit, so he probably was in like the garrison or something.
I guess.
And no one knew who this guy was.
No. Flock says, "Go back to being the old John. Reckless, annoying, and cheeky."
I mean, we've been saying for a long time that John does kind of have some cake on him.
Could you... Okay. Yeah. I don't think that's what he meant, but... Because I was getting ready to say, would you ever... I feel like I would be getting mad as he started saying that, and as soon as someone called me cheeky, I would just be like, so what?
That's when John said, "What did you just call me?"
Yeah, and I don't know if I've talked about this on one of our podcasts before. The thing that made me the most mad that anyone ever said to me, you were there, someone says, "That's what I like about you, Ronnie. You're consistent." We were sitting on the second or third deck at a Braves game. We were sitting front row, and for a second, I thought I was going to shove that guy off the terrace. I really did. Because what the fuck does that mean? You're damn right I'm consistent.
God, he got you so good.
I'll never forget that. Fuck that guy. But I love this scene. Do you know why?
Because Flock's in it?
No, because it made me start looking forward to the moment that Jean kills or imprisons this stupid prick.
I don't think Flock, like I said, he might get the founder in the future. I don't think he'll die. I'm going to make a bold prediction saying that he doesn't die.
Okay. All right. Jean says, "What did you call me?" As Anya Capone walks by and the two of them meet eyes. Jean gasps in kind of a weird way. What did you think of anything here?
God, I was so ready to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't want to be asked the question because I don't have an explanation, so I asked you it.
This is the only thought I have. Anya Capone is kind of giving Jean that look like, don't fall into this bullshit of what that guy's saying. We'll take him down later.
God, I love your mind. It's so beautiful.
Is that what you kind of thought?
I think that's exactly what happened, yeah. Because they're not in any position to have some grandiose plan. It's got to just be like Anya Capone and with his eyes saying, keep your cool, buy your time, all right? This guy's clearly unhinged.
Yeah.
We're not out of this yet.
He's like, Jean, if I know about how to deal with unhinged people, he's like, I'm the best case for that. I've dealt with an unhinged woman, mammoth of a woman, for years.
You can do it. She's staring into blank space, sitting in a chair in a scene that only Chaz Chart saw her. Yeah. No one else did. But he's so immersed into the episode, he saw her. Flock lies again. Or no, Mikasa then says, Mikasa says, what happened to Levi and Hanji? And Flock lies again, says, they were killed by Zeke.
Now, he might have actually thought that Levi was dead, though. So.
Yeah, but in no way, shape, or form was he killed...
By Zeke?
By Zeke, because I don't think he thought... Oh, well, I see what you're saying. He thought he was actually dead?
He thought maybe Levi was actually dead, but he knew Hanji wasn't.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. He was like, they're getting away. I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, he said they're getting away. He told them to... They chased him with horses. They had a couple Jaeger dotards chase him with horses.
Those were some Jaeger dotards, for sure.
I mean, come on. You think they were really going to hit them riding a horse? There's no
He's just... I mean, all this is going to unravel on him. He's just throwing out lies everywhere to try and keep whatever power he has. Oh, Aaron told me this. Oh, they're killed by Zeke. Wait until Hanji and One-Eyed Levi come strutting up and change the whole thing.
I might have to, I'm being dead serious here. So don't look at me in my eyes.
Okay? I'm looking at you.
I think that he actually did have a talk with Aaron. The reason I think this is because, I said from the beginning, I think I said this, the preview of this season, why does Flock, we can tell what Flock's goals are. Why is he following Aaron if Aaron hasn't told him that he wasn't going to do the euthanization plan? So I think that Aaron did say, all right, you're going to be the future founder. Here's the plan from until then. And told him this whole spiel. And he might even, he might have told him you're going to be the future founder, but as a straight up lie. Just to get him to this point. Okay. Now, do I think Aaron actually likes Flock? No.
All right, that's fair. So that's your explanation. My explanation as to why I think you're wrong, and I don't think Aaron did, is I think Flock would have this this spot or this power or whatever he's trying to do, and follow Aaron purely based off the fact that I think he was on the island of Paradise going absolutely crazy, being like, why are we not taking the fight to them? And Aaron was the only one who actually did that, put the entire place in a spot to attack Marley. Okay. And when he saw that and he came back and he heard other people being like, hey, why are they locking him up? And they realized, he was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that guy's the only one trying to do anything. He's like the strongest one here. So that's why he fell in line.
And then he's like, I'll talk to this guy the entire time.
Yeah, I think that's all it took. Because I think if Aaron did have a conversation with him and told some of the things that you think he did, I think Flock would have nutted his pants. And
wow. He looks like he's been nutting his pants.
That guy's full of so much anger. I don't think he's nutted in quite some time. So, what are we talking about here? Yes, the sun has just about fully set now. Name of the episode, Sunset. Where we cut to two lads, just two dudes riding on the same horse. It's not that it's wrong, it just isn't right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, one of them's a kid, so I don't like that you're saying that about a little 12-year-old, but I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's not that it's wrong, it just isn't right.
Okay. Yeah.
Falco says, I appreciate you helping me, but aren't we still going north? See, sunset is that way. And which led me to this very fun question that I've got. What direction does the sun set in, Chadley?
Sun sets in the east. Rises in the east, sets in the west.
Oh, I tried to slip by before you could get the right answer. You got it right that second time.
Rises in the east, sets in the west. I knew it all along.
So much fun.
But so he's very compassed awareness. Yeah. Because you think about it, it's still...
Is that in your notes? Sometimes you say things and I'm like, is he riffing off of what I said? Or did he actually put in his notes that Falco's very compassed awareness?
I did put that in my notes. I was like,
and how's it spelled? Say how it's actually spelled, because there's no way you put compassed awareness in your notes.
Okay. I put how does he know so well where the north is? Because my whole point is the sun rises in the east, sets in the west.
Right.
But how that's tough, that's difficult to decipher where the north and south are, right?
In a world where every car doesn't tell you which direction you're going in and your phone doesn't do it for you, I think every kid in town knew their north and south. Okay. Exploring in woods. I think it's very common that they would have taught him about now it's a lot to remember. There are 4 directions.
well, think about it. If he's looking at the sun, right, and it's setting right
now. Never eat soggy waffles, dude. You don't think Falco knows?
It's setting in the west. Mm-hmm. So then you would have to...
You're saying which way is north?
Yeah. I'm trying to think... now I'm trying to remember the scene as if they even did it properly. Did they even animate this properly?
Oh, that I wasn't paying attention. Did you see the windmill earlier? I would not question these animation teams.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure they did it correctly.
They did a beautiful job, guys. We love Mappa. But yeah, this guy's compassed out.
But I think there could still be... I'm trying to think. There would still be some deciding which one's north, which one's south. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm trying to say. Because you can decide... Obviously, the east and west.
You're like, that's west. This one's east. But is this one north or is this one south?
Yeah.
Right. I would explain that off as... They know that chaos is going down in the south, so he must be like, we're going north.
Good point. Because I forgot that Shiganshina is like the southern part too.
Yeah, so and a lot of talk. Yeah. The Colossals are marching south. That's where the airships are.
Makes sense.
Stay away from the south. So Connie, whose flaccid cock is jamming itself into Falco's backside, says, "It's fine. We're just putting us further away from danger down south." He says, "I'll take you to a hospital for your amnesia."
He said, "Don't worry about me riding behind you. Aaron has undone all the hardening."
Yeah. He says, "Don't worry. You're riding on the horse. I'm riding on you, but we're fine. We're going to take care of that amnesia so you can forget about all of this." He says, "I'm a soldier. It's only natural that I help out."
God, what a dick.
And in his inner monologue, he thinks about his family and says, "I can still bring back my mom. Just a little bit longer." Falco interrupts and says, "Thank you, Connie. You've really went out of your way just for me." As he thinks to himself, "Thank goodness Connie is such a nice person, but I really need to get back south."
And Connie's parents, too. It shows his parents for a flash. Connie, lived a very normal life. Mm-hmm. I know we make fun of the guy, but he did have, a normal family and stuff, so it does kind of suck.
He was in a village. I would so much prefer growing up in one of those villages than just in the walls,
100%.
Falco's still in his own mind, says, "I remember up until meeting Gabby and Colt, but what happened after that?" And this made me sad, because does that mean he doesn't remember telling Gabby he loves her?
Yes, that's what I first thought. I was like, that's gonna be so. Maybe he doesn't love her. Maybe that was a spur of the moment thing.
He was which Gabby's gonna remember. So now it's gonna give her a chance to reciprocate the feelings, or it's gonna be like I am with girls when I don't acknowledge it because I'm awkward.
Yep. It's a good way to do it.
That might be what happens as well. But he thinks, plus, I feel like I've seen Connie before, but if he doesn't recognize me, maybe I haven't. And see, that's kind of where it first goes to black. And I want to say before we get to this last part of the episode, you can already see it on Connie's face. The power of save Falco at all costs is already starting to creep in.
When a kid is being that nice and innocent,
oh my gosh,
you can't. Yeah,
oh god,
because he's gonna be thinking about his little siblings too, and he's gonna be like, "Well, my mom's not gonna want me to kill a kid to save her."
Nope, she would actually probably be pissed. Can you imagine having to sit down with Connie's mother and being like, "All right, you have the power of one of the 9 Titans, and and we need you, a very untrained housewife, to put your life on the line to go and stop Dr. Genocidal Galapagos."
Yep.
She'd be like, "What the fuck, Connie?"
Yeah. And you've got 13 years to live with your son, just your one son. Your husband and kids are gone.
So, end of episode, not so fast, though. McGath and Peake, they're okay, all right? Mm-hmm. They're watching all of this chaos take place. They say there's nothing left to do to stop it. But McGath, who... Listen, if anything ever happened to Keith Sadie's, and I hate myself for even bringing up that idea because I'm not ready for it to happen, and if it does happen, no one talks to me for a couple weeks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What I will do to try and get that Keith Sadie's fix that I so desperately crave, I would look to McGath.
Yes.
Because McGath says, we will still fight to the bitter end.
I have, for the past whatever episodes, when he was just popping domes in that cannon, I was like, this guy's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
I'm all about him.
He's not Keith to the fullest extent because he says things such as crisis averted.
Yeah.
When the crisis clearly has not been averted, but he does also say things like, we will fight to the bitter end, and that makes me want to run through walls. Yes. Okay?
When he just stared down Aaron in that cannon and said, we don't need your head anymore, just give us your spinal fluid. Like, oh, badass.
We then get
Chato Mate. Chato Mate.
Hanji saying, hello!
Oh, I love a good Chato Mate in anime. It's just so beautiful, especially coming from Hanji's voice.
And this is cool. Peak. She's outside of the cart, but she's still connected. So she just sprints up to it real quick, with mouth agape, and she's like, "Whoa!"
And Magath's still riding her.
Yeah,
this is so adorable. They're a cute. They're not a couple because you know why? I'm shipping Magath and Hanji. I'm just shipping it, dude.
Wow.
I'm shipping it. Sure, Keith, we already know the turmoil between Hanji and Keith. I want Keith to find him another lady. Okay, that's what's done in the past is done. Move on, Keith. You're a special man. You're gonna find you a great woman before you go out in style. He's gonna go out in style. Okay. If anything's gonna happen to Keith,
he's not going out. He's not going out.
If anything does, though, he's going out in style. But Magath and Hanji, the two commander generals of the army, what
a power couple.
Power couple, man.
Hey, move over, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. Okay?
We've got Theo and Hanj, okay?
Theo and Zoe.
Yeah.
What would their couple name be, you think?
Haggath.
Oh, love it. Maganji.
Okay, if we're shipping them, who does Peak get the ship with?
Me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. She's an animated character. That's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, she's a drawing. So.
Peak. Who would? Dude, I don't know if there's any good suitors. Let's think about it.
My beloved Hanji.
I think this is our longest episode of the season. Let's slow down and think about it for a second, you know?
Like, I'm just going to reiterate. My beloved Hanji.
By the way, since we're just off top, remember, I'm not going to be at work tomorrow, okay? I've got that doctor's appointment I told you about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me.
Just let everyone on the podcast know. 3-day weekend for the Ronster.
What about Jean?
No. Fuck you. Yeah, I will die in my grave.
Oh, God.
Hopefully I'll die before I reach my grave, you know? Jean and Mikasa, all right?
I still think Aaron and Mikasa deserve
Fuck that. No.
They deserve a happy
Now
ending.
what, dude, why are you doing this? You've been so goofy this episode in particular. I know for a fact I could go through the archives and find where you and I were on team Jean and Mikasa.
No, I think that's a good alternative ending, okay? But when Aaron went through his memories with Zeke and we see him sitting there about to cry when he's putting the scarf around Mikasa for the first time, that brought everything back to me. That brought all of my feelings back to my heart.
I just don't. No, it's just not healthy for Mikasa, all right? It's not healthy.
Oh, I mean, I guess Aaron is long
Do you have
gone.
any other better options? Or did we fail and we have to think later?
Okay, not Connie. Connie's a goofball.
That's what my first thought was, and then I went, no. Who would you... But Connie, I mean, he does deserve someone.
I guess, but he doesn't deserve her, not her.
Louise. Connie can have Louise.
Yeah.
We haven't seen her in a while. She might be dead. Well, she might be dead.
Maybe.
Flock... No, Flock can have...
Flock is definitely ending up with a man, and that man's name is Aaron Yeager.
We got to really break this down. We need to do an episode
where
we just talk for 45 minutes and break down all the ships.
Because we've already got the the Armin and Annie.
That's the strongest one. Yeah, that's the biggest one for sure.
We got that, and then Theo and
Gabby and Falco.
Gabby and Falco.
We get in a lot of trouble. I say it every time, talking about young girls and their crushes, but we will ship those two. I don't have any. I won't even say we got to be careful with that.
No, they're beautiful, beautiful people.
All right. And what was I? Okay, so yeah, I was in the middle of this last note. This note right here, it's taking 15 minutes.
Levi and Peak.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see her in the older men.
She's in Peak, first of all.
She's a shorty.
She seems like a real game player. She doesn't care about the short thing. All right?
Well, because Levi would be taller than her, because I think she's even shorter than him.
Second of all, that's pretty presumptuous. Second of all, I think she just digs that like monotone bad boy vibe that's also secretly like sweet.
Yeah, because he secretly has the biggest heart in the show.
They're the perfect mix of like opposites attract, but also they have enough similarities to stay together. Like I feel like Peak, I feel like she's kind of messy. Levi's gonna, keep the house in order. Mm-hmm. Levi's kind of he can be like a little bitchy about things. Peak is more easygoing. I think they'd just be beautiful together. I love that. Love that. Thank you for thinking that.
Yep. You're welcome.
All right. Back to this last note. It is really the thorn in our sides. We then get Hanji saying hello. She says, "Don't eat me." And then she also says, "Don't worry about that guy over there. He is a harmless fellow who refuses to die." What a great line.
That's an awesome line. And he's down pretty bad.
We see him.
He's down
and
pretty bad.
This does not fall under the category of bandage around the head because there is a lot of bandaging going on.
It's not looking...
It's essentially 3/4 of his face.
It's going to be sad if he can't fight anymore. But as long as he's alive and with us, I'll be happy.
I agree. That's the end of the episode. Okay. Anything else you really want to say here?
I think I got it all out of me. It's a little amped up today, but I got it all out.
No, I love it. This was our worst one we've ever done yet.
Yeah.
But
top 3.
I had a lot of fun, so.
It was fun.
I'm looking forward to next week.
Hey, and guys, we're at 197 subscribers on YouTube.
Are we really?
3 away from that 200 milestone.
Oh, I love that. Anytime you're close, you can really play on people's emotions to go and get us to 200.
Get us to 200. Do we get a plaque?
I think
from
we
YouTube?
might. Let me check, but I'm pretty sure you do get a plaque for getting to 200 subscribers.
That is gonna be...
I always hear, you ever watch those YouTube channels when someone gets 1 million subscribers and they're like, it took YouTube 7 months to get me this plaque?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm at 3 million now. How long is it going to take to get us our 200 subscriber plaque? I mean, no one listens on YouTube. That's why we're not there yet.
I mean, a lot of people do.
All right. But no, seriously, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Podcast Chronic. Join the Discord.
Rate us on Apple Podcasts.
You better do it.
Do it.
I've been Ronnie.
I've been Chatty.
Peace.
Peace.